How do you rank the quarterbacks in the NFC North? Because with two guys signing away, well, really Rodgers went to the Packers,
right?
To the Jets, I mean. But with Kirk Cousins leaving via free agency, this is a young division of quarterbacks. How do you rank them in this one, my friend?
I'm going with the old dog. I'm going Jared Goff 1. This is a guy who has playoff, obviously, experience. He's been to a Super Bowl. Now, people will say, well, it's not like he threw the Rams to that Super Bowl. Yeah, but he didn't throw them out of it either.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't crash the car. I think he deserves some respect for that. We know that team was really mainly defense and the excellence of Sean McVay when Jared Goff went and caught that L. But, look, I had to throw that in on Foxboro Rush, right? But, look, we saw him play at another extremely high level last season as well and damn near get back to the Super Bowl. In that one, no one can accuse him of, well, he's just guiding the team. He's just managing the game. Hell no. He's a playmaker for the Lions. So I'm going to go Jared Goff, the old dog here at the top. Jordan Love did enough on the back end of last season for me to feel confident that he's going to do it again. I'm still pressing the brakes a little bit. Everyone's crowning this kid. He's already been ordained.
I'll give him in myself,
I know.
man.
You're all about him.
I will get ordained in the state of Wisconsin.
And I get it.
And I will crown him king.
Listen, I get it. I'm just not quick to do it just yet. I want to see him do it a full season. I didn't see him do it a full season last season. I mean, at one point,
he did a full season.
No, he didn't.
18
Halfway
games.
through the season, I was saying, I think this kid's a bust.
And then last 8 games of the season?
Right, exactly. That's my point. And then, obviously, he ended very strong, where it was like, okay, now we're seeing the things why Green Bay brought him in and sat him and let him marinate behind Aaron Rodgers as long as they did. But again, I want to see a full season of that. Until I see it, I will not put the crown upon his head. But I do like him. Then I'm going Caleb Williams.
Whoa. Hold on.
Yeah, third.
Hold on.
Third.
Let me cut you off here real quick.
Yeah.
It has been said in the Nesson offices.
Yes, by me.
Calling himself out.
Yes.
Caleb Williams will be a Hall of Famer.
Future Hall of Famer.
You have him behind.
Hold on. Multiple Super Bowls. Don't forget that.
And you have him behind Jared Goff.
Yeah, I have him third. I have him behind Jordan Love, too.
You have him third in the division.
Yeah. You know why? You want me to tell you?
Go ahead.
Haven't seen it with dying eyes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Saw him do it in high school. Got a chance to cover it. Saw him do it
from the D.C. area, for those who don't know.
Saw him do it at 2 marquee blue chip programs.
Yep.
With the Boomer Sooners and USC. Fight on. Haven't seen it in the NFL. So until then, now, I have J.J. McCarthy right behind him for the same reason, but I have Caleb over J.J. because I can only go by what I've seen. And in college, Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy. So benefit of the doubt, I'm going to put him over J.J. here in the NFL, but both of these guys clearly have room to grow on this list. It wouldn't shock me maybe next season we're having this conversation on Foxboro Rush, and Caleb could be number 1 on this list. But for right now, I can't do it until I see him ball out in the NFL.
And J.J. McCarthy, he falls into 4. He's my number 4.
Yeah. I mean, no knock on him, but I'm just going off what I saw in college as it pertains to those two, and Caleb was a better player.
You know what's brilliant? Just that ranking, and mine's close with yours in my 3-4 spot, right?
Yep.
But you would give J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams, they have the best receiving cores in this division. Now, it's packed. It's star-studded. I mean, the Packers have all their number 2s.
Yep.
The Lions obviously have Jameson Williams. Let's see if he can be healthy, play a whole season, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep.
And Laporta is another gem. That offensive system is great. But with Caleb Williams, it's DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen coming off his best career year and an improve-it year.
That's
because
right.
after this year, he's a free agent again. And Roma Dunze, who they drafted, but would have been wide receiver 1 in other drafts that didn't have Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yep.
And then, of course, J.J. McCarthy has the best wide receiver in all of football, and Jordan Addison, who is a great number 2.
Pretty damn good running back, too.
Very good running back in Aaron Jones and a weapon out of the backfield. All right, my ranking, I go number 1 is Jordan Love, man.
Okay.
He is the best quarterback in this division, and to me, it's without a doubt. Let's just talk about his last 8 games of the regular season before he went to Dallas and threw all over them. 10 games through the season, he had about 16 touchdowns, but was flirting with a lot of turnovers and interceptions. Whatever happened for those 8 games, and he flipped the switch, and his experience in Matt LaFleur's system, This kid had 18 touchdowns to 1 interception.
Yeah.
With his deep receiving group, with Christian Watson in and out of lineup, I don't know if that guy will ever be healthy. It didn't matter. Jaden Reed, the versatile weapon that he is.
Yep.
Dontavian Wicks, the depth piece that he is. Romeo Doubs against his own defense, who is his safety blanket. And, of course, with Luke Musgrave stepping up as well. His weapons galore all over it, and they still have a good run game. Even with Aaron Jones in Minnesota, it's Josh Jacobs out of the backfield. But most important about it all, Jordan Love can run one of the most complex systems in the NFL. Because remember, when Matt LaFleur got to Green Bay, it took Aaron Rodgers a year to get it under his belt. Now this is Jordan Love entering year 5 in the league. Drafted in 2020. Didn't play. 2021. Thrown to a spot start because Rodgers was out. 22, 23. Didn't play in 22. Finally 23. Everything clears up, and look what he did and get into the playoffs in a big stage. Beat the Cowboys and then run into the buzzsaw that is the 49ers. Jordan Love, if I'm starting a team right now, and this is kind of how I look at my rankings. He is the best quarterback in the NFC North. And now you can say Caleb Williams might have a higher ceiling because he's the next Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
But to your point, I've seen Jordan Love do it.
That's right.
And I think the confidence he has in it. And he can make off-platform throws. He can roll out of the backfield and make plays on the run. And he can get it done with his legs as well. His athleticism, with his arm strength, with making all the throws, and his IQ and processing, Jordan Love to me is the best quarterback in the NFC North by far. Then number 2, I go Caleb Williams.
What?
I'm going pure ceiling on this one. We've seen him do it at USC with an awful offensive line. With a bad receiving group. Brendan Rice was a 6th, 7th round pick. His other receiver in college wasn't that great either. I mean, he had nothing to work with. No defense to get stops. No offensive line to protect him.
Right.
And yeah, he had a good play caller, Lincoln Riley, but that kid, the talent he has to drop the bad habits. But the receiving group he has, the offensive line, getting linked up, and who he has now with Shane Waldron. I mean, he's set up for success. I have Caleb Williams 2. I have Jared Goff 3 because he's good.
You're a hater, bro.
He's good.
You're hating on Jared Goff.
He's good. He just has 2 great quarterbacks in front of him. But Jared Goff's good. A career year, he still threw 12 interceptions. I don't trust him to go out and win games for me. We won because of him. I'll win because of Jordan Love and Caleb Williams, but I'll win with Jared Goff. Go out there, manage it. We're going to run it. Let's get our defense back intact on this one. We'll be okay. And then lastly, I have J.J. McCarthy because he hasn't proved it to me. But, man, with that receiving group, he's going to put up gaudy stats.
Yeah, he is. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Jared Goff gets back to a Super Bowl, win or lose with Detroit. I mean, are you going to put some respect on this guy? What does this guy have to do? Does he have to win a ring? Is it the ring? If he wins the Super Bowl this year, will you put some respect? You put a kid who hasn't done anything in the NFL yet over a guy who's been to the Super Bowl, who's been to NFC title games, who's had multiple playoff games and played well in all of them.
If Goff gets him there, isn't a liability at all. And I wasn't saying he was a liability in this postseason, right? This last run they had to the NFC Championship game, where they put up numbers. They had a huge lead on San Fran, but his head coach decided not to kick field goals. If he gets him back there, yeah, and I see back-to-back seasons of him with this success with Ben Johnson, but you know what's going to happen.
You'll put some respect on his name.
Ben Johnson's going to leave, get a head coaching job. We're going to see Jared Goff without one of the best offensive coordinators and play callers in the NFL.
I heard that, without McVay, he's going to stink in Detroit, except that he doesn't.
He was terrible his first 2 years in the Lions. And then he came out and proved it and runs the system. And 29 years old, again, he got paid because the Lions would rather have somebody than nobody and hit reset and possibly fumble away the timeline they have with these young studs on both sides of the ball because they don't have a quarterback. But yes, to answer your question, if you get him to a Super Bowl, win or lose, and he is a guy that's out there as a leader and can get it done, then yeah, I'll put more respect on his name. But also, let's see what Caleb Williams does, man. If he's leading this offense, they're firing on all cylinders, and he sneaks the Bears into the playoffs, this is a jam-packed division.
Yeah.
Maybe Caleb Williams is still in front of him for me, and maybe I'm betting more on ceiling. I know what Jared Goff is. I know what Caleb Williams could be. I'm ranking Caleb Williams number 2 because I know what he can be. I hope he gets to that one day because it would be great for the NFL, man.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, by the way, I asked that Super Bowl question because I do believe the Lions are going to win the NFC.
Ooh.
I do. They should have won it last season, quite frankly.
Should've.
But I'm looking at the Niners, a little bit, longer in the tooth, a little older there. I could see where maybe they start to regress in a sense, and that championship window that's been open for them, and Lord knows they've had a ton of shots at winning that Lombardi. I'm starting to think that window's closing a bit, and I see it maybe opening a little bit more for Detroit. That coach has to get out of his own way, though, as you mentioned. But I could see the Lions in the Super Bowl. That's why I asked that. I don't know if they're going to win it or not. We never know till we get there. But I feel like if he at least goes to 2 Super Bowls on 2 separate teams, he deserves a little more respect from you, G. Beasy.